Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Den. Now today we're going to take a look at Golfstar. This is a free-to-play sports MMO, obviously with a golf-themed background. But let's get started. You can see here we've got a couple of servers. You can see here on this second server though, there's not a lot of people that play on there. Probably mostly people that are just kind of looking to get away, maybe play just by themselves, stuff like that. And this server, you've got channel 1, which is basically packed, channel 2, which is pretty full, and then these other channels that are they've just got a few people playing on them, kind of the same thing like I was talking about with the other one. Let's go ahead and jump on channel 2 so we can, at least see some people roaming around. So we're going to move to the lobby server and check things out. Now, one thing I can tell you is the game is kind of on par with, funny that I use on par, right? On par with some other golf games that are out there, even some that we've already reviewed like Shot Online and stuff like that. But I would say that the graphics are just a little bit of a step up. But you can see here, same kind of style. You've got kind of your little lobby area where you can walk around, you can check stuff out, and you've got, your fashion shop, Julia right there. It's kind of funny because she's in a little cowgirl outfit. And then you've got your workshop where you can, work on your different items and kind of tweak out your clubs and stuff like that. Then you've got your locker room. We can actually go in there and take a look at different things, basically clubs and clothes and things like that. We can jump right here to jump right to our locker, be able to see here's our character. Now you essentially, once you create a character, you're pretty much stuck with that. And because I already created the character because I kind of wanted to get through the basics of the game so you guys didn't have to see a lot of the repetitive nature of some of those little quests, because the game does have quests which are really cool. It helps you level up faster, get yourself some skill points and be able to assign those. Now we're in the locker room. You can see my character here and you can see some of the different items that I have, but you can also see that like this item right here, it has a class and a level limit and also a character limit. So a lot of times you'll find items and you won't necessarily be able to use them because you need to either be the right character type, because when you create a character you actually select from several different predetermined characters, so to say. Like this stuff is for like Athena, and then this one is specifically for my character, which is Patrick, and this one is for all, but I can't use it yet because I need to get to junior class and also level 15. So, and you can also see you've got different clubs that you can pick out. You can see some of the bonuses that these clubs have. You can also highlight over the ones here and see some of the bonuses they have. You can also see those bonuses right here. So I is for impact, C is for control, and so you can see how those different things essentially work in your favor as far as when you're doing your shots and stuff like that. But let's exit out of here and we're going to cruise around a little bit. I'm not sure if I have a quest available. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at our quest. That is actually in the, let's see if we can bring that up. So quests. So we actually don't have any quests right now. They have normal and timed and then ongoing events. And what's cool about it is as you're walking around here and hanging out, and you can see some of the people who have actually put themselves in some different items. But here we go. We do, once we get over here to the info desk and we talk to Carrie right here, which she has a very odd outfit for golfing. But it looks like this guy looks like a few people are inviting me to different games right there. And that's one thing that you'll notice is kind of cool, that different people can invite you to different games and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool to see that. So here's some quests that she has using stores. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Buy an 80 milliliter restorative drink. So let's go ahead and accept that. And then beginner, try a junior start, talk to Carrie, going on, accept. And then some of these quests are kind of interesting because essentially they just want you to talk to, once you reach level 10 and become a junior, great things will happen. So we're not there yet. We can take a look at what level we are here in a second. Win a stroke mode going on, so accept, and then use the locker room, so accept that. And some of these, like I said, are very easy to complete, so essentially we're just going to go back where we were, use the locker room. Alright, we were in there, we exit back out, and unfortunately it didn't let us do it. So let's see, changing outfits in the locker room. So there we go. So let's go into the locker room and let's see, tops. We don't have a different top, so let's see if we can. We can't really do anything right now because we don't have anything. We don't have any other outfits to choose from, so we're gonna have to get a different outfit. Now what's really cool though is once you do get to the point where you're ready to play a little bit, you don't have to jump right into stroke play. You can actually go to this practice area And you'll find out that you'll end up using this practice area before you even start, because there's a couple quests that send you to the driving range, and then you'll start and do a little 3-hole round, and then there'll be another one that'll send you to the putting range, and then the star range, and so on and so forth. But you can see down here I've got some of the game's currency that you earn, which is GPs, and then these stars would be the game's currency that you take and you get for you know, spending actual money. And you do have a couple different items that you can use. You've got like this helper capsule, impact and controller improved for 1 stroke. So we can drag this down to our hotbar, put it right there, so we've got it right there. You also do have some skills. So you can take and you can get these different skills, and then you can see right now you need different points. And you can see click to learn skill, cannot learn, need 1 skill point. I don't have any skill points right now. And I thought I did have 1 actual skill that I signed, but I don't have any skill points right now. So I can't assign those yet. But you can see down here you've got kind of your level and your hit points and your mana points, which the skills use the mana and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and jump into and take a look at an actual game. So once you get in here and you want to create a game, or go to create a room, or you can see the rooming list and join somebody else's game. We're going to create a game real quick. You can pick which course you want to play, and you can see by the number of stars, that's basically showing you the difficulty of the course. So let's go to let's go there. Participants, you can do 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, or you can just start it right when you get in there. We're going to do 3 holes real quick, and the time limit, this doesn't really matter right now because we're going to be the only person in the game. And you can set difficulty to easy or hard, and the harder you set the difficulty, the more wind, more things like undulations and how crazy the green is and stuff like that. You can also see right here, you can either play stroke, match, skins, competition, or team competition. So there's a lot of different modes that you can choose from. But let's go ahead and jump in there. Room is being created, and you know what, we're just going to go ahead and start and get going, because we don't want to wait for somebody else and then have to wait for their turn and all that different stuff. Now once you get into the game, you can see your club selection is right here. This is normally your timer, which like I said, we don't have right now because there's no other players. So it's kind of cool. So I'm going to be able to explain a few different things here. Then you've got your temperature, and then you've got your wind. So you can go out and you can hold down Q, and that'll send you out. So you can, or actually just hit Q, and that'll send you out and show you where your ball's aiming for. So right there, you can also see your distance. Now to hit a shot, essentially what you have is you've got this meter right here, and you want to hold down your space bar or click. You can see right there, left click, and the power will power up. And then you want to aim to be somewhere between, you know, basically you want to aim for 100% on your drive. But then you can adjust your percentage based upon the shot you have. And you know, like if I have 184 yards and I only want to go, you know, 90% of that, then I just hold it down until it gets to, it's close to 90%. And what's really nice is if you do that, let's say I want to go 90%. So that's pretty close, but you know what? I didn't get close enough. I can just not hit the space bar again and actually hit the ball. And so then that way I can take and essentially just say, oh, it's practice swing, miss the ball, and then that way I can redo it again. So a lot of times when you're aiming for, like, let's say 50%, and let's say, you know, hey, that's way too much, I just don't take and actually complete my swing. But let's go ahead and complete our swing and get on out there. Let's take our shot, full power. And then the idea is you want to take and you want to make sure that your shot stays within that smaller circle. You can get it within that outer circle. It won't be as good of a shot. And then if you hit it just perfect, you'll get extra yardage out of it and better control and things like that. So you can also hit tab and see the overhead view. So we're going to adjust. You can see from there, we're going to adjust to make sure that we stay in the fairway. You can also then hit Q and bring up that menu. And once again, hold down the spacebar until you get to your into your power level, and then you want to go ahead and hit that right when it gets close, and it looks like we barely made it back onto the fairway. We pulled it a little bit, and that's what happens. Essentially, if you don't hit a perfect shot, then the ball will kind of be off on accuracy. And then the other thing you want to pay attention to is the angle here of the actual ground that you're hitting off of. And you know, if you've played golf, you understand that if the ball's above your feet, then it's going to go more to the left, and if it's below your feet, it's going to go more to the right. Well, that is if you are a right-handed golfer. So let's go ahead and see where we're going to hit this. We know it's going to go a little bit extra to our left, so we want to be over there, as well as adjusting for a little bit of the wind. So let's see if we can get a nice clean shot. There we go. And we pulled it a little bit, but I think we're going to be okay as long as we clear that. And we didn't make it up onto the green. So pretty close, we can chip on. And this is where things get a little bit more precarious, because as you can see here, this is a 100% shot with my sand wedge. So now, I don't know if the game has, you know, different shots, so you can do like a lob or a pitch or stuff like that, but so far I haven't seen any. So one thing you want to pay attention to is you kind of have to read the green. Now, one thing you can do to read the green is you can adjust to, you know, long putter, middle putter, or your short putter. So it's kind of nice. Sometimes if you're close enough to the green, you can take and you can see the actual way that the green rides. So I'm going to guess that this actually goes a little bit over here, and we want to be, that's at about 17 meters, 65 is 100%, so it's roughly about 25%. Now this is really tough, and you can see right here they put right where the flag is. So this is one of those instances where you're going to hold down the space bar to kind of get that exact power. So that's a little short, so I don't want to hit that because I know I'm going to come up real short and not make it all the way to the flag. So that's a little bit closer, so we're going to go ahead and use that one. And there we go. And we got nice and close. We're about 1 meter off, but that should be a pretty easy putt for us to go ahead and sink in for par. Now you can see here, once you do get into your putting stroke, putting in this game is a little bit different. So we've got our helpful caddy. You can see the green information. Now it's really funny because I already went through all the tutorials, so I'm not sure why they're showing me all that stuff again. But you can see based on the moving lines on the grid that the ball is going to break left to right, and I'm also hitting just slightly uphill. You can see that by these grid lines coming down at me. So we're going to hit a little bit harder. And now with this, instead of actually doing kind of just a basic putt, what you're going to do is you hold down the key until it reaches the level that you want it to reach on this little slide bar, and then you want to also meet your putt as close to perfect as possible and right on the ball. So let's go ahead, and I don't think it's going to break that much, probably about that much, and I'm going to hit it a little bit harder. Actually, I'm going to hit it a little harder than that because I'm going uphill. So let's try this again one more time for the back of the cup. And there we go, par, and we're moving on. We've got 2 more holes to go on this one. So essentially it shows you we're doing just some 3 middle holes, but you can see, I mean, graphically the game is you know, pretty nice looking, some great landscapes and stuff like that. Let's head over this way a little bit. We've got a little wind behind us. Let's see if we can knock it out there. And then as you level up, you're actually going to find that you get different points that you can assign to your different attributes as far as like power and control and things like that, which always comes in really handy. You also will take and you'll get you get those skill points as you level up that you're going to be able to, and I can't adjust my club. That really sucks that it won't let me adjust my club, because I know I should be able to use like a 4 or 3 iron. This isn't that rough. But let's go ahead and we're just going to have to knock it out there and see what we can do. We're a little off. So there's essentially what happens when you shank the ball and pull it really far to the right. So we're really deep in the rough, and of course we're going to get a distance of 50% to 95%. So really crappy. You can also see that unless I hit the ball really perfect, it's really hard to get it inside that little teeny tiny hole there. Except I was able to pull it off. And then also, you know, when you get good shots and things like that, you earn additional additional GPs, or actually the coin. You can see you get a running total there. So this is a really long putt. So it looks like it's way out there. So pretty crazy to see these really long putts. And you can also see color coordinated, whether it's, you know, from green to yellow to red. That's also showing how steep it is to get it all the way up there. We do have our long putter chosen. So I don't think it's going to break too much from right to left, but it's definitely going to be, I'm going to need to hit this thing as hard as I can. So it's going to take a while for this little guy to get up there. And there we go. So let's see how, and of course I totally forgot to hit it. So I get it to go all the way where I need it to, and then I totally lost my concentration. So here we go. Get it all the way up there. And yeah, if you take and you let go too late, it will restart. So you've got to be pretty Johnny on the spot with exactly where you let this thing go. So that should be a pretty good one. Let's see how close we actually get to the hole on this one. Never know, we might get lucky. We're still pretty far away. But that was a massively uphill putt, and let's see if we can put this one in the back of the hole there. There we go. And are we gonna... Of course, we didn't make it. And then once you get close enough, it'll do this little auto putting for you, so you'll be able to just knock it out. You can bring up your character info and see the different things you have. You can see right there. I'll have to bring it up when we get to this next screen, and there we go. I've I've got a little bit of bonus to power and stuff like that. And then as you take and as you level up, you're going to be able to assign those points into there. So it's kind of cool to be able to adjust your character's strengths and weaknesses and things of that nature. So we've got a little bit of wind here, and we're going to get this thing downhill. So let's knock it out there and see if we can get it to run a little bit.
Nice
oh, we're
shot.
way off. But unfortunately, all it did is looks like it took a little bit of power off. We've got some downhill, so we're probably going to get pretty close. There we go, about 180. And hopefully that'll get us close enough to where it is another par 5. So it picked a whole bunch of par 5s for us, and we've got to go ahead and just go around this because we don't have enough power for a hook shot. Now that's one thing you have when you start to get your skills, is that's when you're able to do your draws and your fades and all kinds of stuff like that. Be able to work yourself around trees and all different things of that nature. So that's where it gets really important to make sure that you use your skill points and get all those different skills and things that you can use while you're in the course of a game, so you can help keep your score nice and low. But I haven't found it too hard to really keep my score kind of low. It's been fairly easy to come in around around par roughly. Usually I do right now, and I know like as I'd level up, I'd be able to assign a lot of different skills and things of that nature to be able to really bring my score down a lot. And then obviously with practice, you get used to using different clubs and how the game's physics work. Because these golf games, that's one thing that's always different in every single one, is the physics is always different. And that's one thing I'd have to say is my complaint with Shot Online and also with this, is the physics is actually just a little bit off in a couple of different places. When you hit certain grass types, or you hit certain things as far as just like little, like right here on these lips and stuff like that, it doesn't change the nature of the way that the ball moves and things of that nature. So I think that they could do a little bit better job on those physics, but it's not absolutely horrible. So we're gonna actually try and putt off of this little fringe area here and see how close we can get. Let's see, I think we're pretty good there. We've got our break. Actually, it's not gonna break that much because it's gonna start breaking actually to the left, and then it'll break back. So I think it's actually gonna be pretty spot on. Just go right at it. And a little downhill, but we also have had a little bit of action going on. Oh, just missed. Especially not too bad. Nice approach. 0.4. I think that's out of the auto. And we didn't hold down the. We did it once again. Let's see if we can do this right this time. There we go. Knock this out, and we got a par. So I think if I remember correctly, we finished at +2. There we go. So, and you can see right here, GP earned and all that stuff. And here's the different experience and things like that. So you can see ranking bonus, level bonus, and we did level up. So we can actually, we got our little trophy.
You're the best.
So let's see if we can get out of here and show you guys. No items were acquired, and we got a wool jacket. So I don't know if I can't see right now if we're gonna be able to equip this wool jacket, but let's head out of here. Let's go back to the locker room and see if we can actually equip that. We cannot. It's only for Bert and level 10, so we can't even complete our quest. But let's go ahead and go to our control panel here, and we have ability point 6 that we can start assigning. So we're gonna go ahead and assign a couple into impact and a couple into control. Hit apply, and there we go. We've been set up, and let's see if we got any skill points. Nope, we still don't have any skill points, so we can't pick up any of those things. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty simple, straightforward golf game. Nothing too out of the ordinary. The quest system is really a cool system as far as I'm concerned, I think, and it really helps you level up a lot faster. As you can see, I just picked up 2 more quests there. It's real easy to take a look at the user list, and you can reach out and talk to people or invite them into your games. It's also very easy to check out the records or go into a rooming list and see the different games that are available for you to jump in. Graphically, it's a nice little golf game, especially for free-to-play. Does kind of have a little bit of Eastern-style graphics and stuff like that, but that's to be expected. So, the music does get a little bit repetitive, but it's nice to be there as far as, you know, when you're playing stuff like that. But for a lot of people, I would guess they'll probably turn the music down just because it just loops, and it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's trip inside the den. Don't forget to subscribe and keep yourself updated as each new episode is released. If you'd like to play or learn more about Golfstar, you can read our full review at mmoden.com or just click the link in the description. Till next time, thanks for watching.